Have you ever woken up deciding to create some kind of change in your life? And in that moment that you decide to create this change, you feel really good. You feel empowered, you feel strong, maybe you even feel excited. Maybe you imagine or picture or get a sense of this you that's created this change and you're like, yes, I'm absolutely going to make it happen this time. Maybe you start doing some research. Maybe you start creating goals, setting goals. And then a few days later, week later, maybe even an hour later, you find yourself back where you were. And it can be the most frustrating thing in the world, because deep down there is this part of you that wants this change. There is this part of you, this wise part of you that knows that if you create this change, then life is going to have a different vibe to it. You're going to feel so much better. Maybe you've decided today's the day I'm going to get fit. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to lose this stubborn 10 pounds or this baby weight. Today is going to be the day where I'm just tired of not having a good work-life balance. So I'm going to start leaving work on time. Today's the day where I'm going to go for a walk at lunchtime because I'm so fed up of sitting in front of my laptop on Teams meetings all day. So I'm going to go for a walk every single lunchtime. I want to experience greater sense of peace. So I'm going to decide every single morning I'm going to meditate. I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes every single morning. I've decided I'm going to stop drinking through the week. I'm really going to commit to it this time. Just going to have a drink at the weekend. But then something happens and we find ourselves back in this old cycle of behaviour. And I call it the fuck it factor, which, by the way, is not a psychotherapeutic term, it's my term. But it's that fuck it, because you've had a really, really busy day or a challenging day. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. That's mine, by the way. Or you've had a really busy morning and you've got to get out a particular proposal, you've got to finish a slide deck, or somebody stuck a meeting in the diary and you just think, oh, I might as well just meet with them. Be easier. Oh, fuck it, I'll go for a walk tomorrow. I promise myself I'll go for a walk tomorrow. But of course tomorrow comes and the mind has created another reason why not to go for the walk. And your mind is so creative at talking you out of why not to keep going. Now, if this resonates with you, trust me, you are not alone. This is what's commonly referred to as the universal cycle of change, where we make a decision about something that we want and we set out with all the best intentions in the world only to find ourselves back at the beginning. Because what I absolutely know to be true, having worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, is that in order to create change, that for a lot of people it takes a significant event where they reach the point that staying where they are is more painful than actually creating that change. It's been my experience of working with people that I've witnessed people who've struggled with anxiety for more than 30 years. I've had people that have come to me that have been in cycles of stress and burnout on and off for more than a decade. And by the time they've reached out to me, there's nothing left in the tank. They are numb, they're depleted, they're questioning the meaning and purpose of life. Now, change, unfortunately, isn't always straightforward because we're asking ourselves to step out of what's familiar and step into the unfamiliar. And the ego does not like the unfamiliar. Making a change can require us upgrading our sense of self, upgrading our identity. Change can be emotional, it can be messy, it can be any number of things. So quite often it becomes the path of least resistance to say, do you know what, maybe it's just not the right time. I mean, how many of us have said that? It's just not the right time. You know, there's just too much on at work. I'll create this change when work calms down. You know, maybe it's just not the right time for me to get fit. I'll wait until the kids get a little bit older. I'll wait till the kids get to school, or wait till they've, left home. Then I'll do it. But the one thing that I also know to be true is that of all the clients that I have worked with over the years, they've all said, I wish I'd seen you sooner. And I'm like, I wish that you'd seen me sooner. Because I know that if you had seen me sooner, or somebody like me, you wouldn't have spent years in this place of pain and difficulty and challenge and suffering. But the absolute one thing that's enabled my clients to create change is self-awareness. Because there is a difference between conscious change and unconscious change. And what we experience as we navigate our way through life is a storehouse of conditioned responses that are running the show unconsciously. And this storehouse of patterns can be thought patterns, it can be emotional responses, it can be behaviours. And about 95-98% of the time, that's what's running the show. And so in order to create that change, well, we need to change that programming. But if we don't have the level of self-awareness of what these patterns are, it's far easier to find ourselves just defaulting back to these conditioned responses. And this is why I created my signature program, HR Alchemy. Because as an ex-HR leader who has had the benefit of working with thousands of people, I know that there are so many HR people out there in the world at the moment that are struggling. And they are struggling with creating these changes that can get them back to a place of happiness, health, and well-being. That there are so many of you out there that are even questioning, do I even want to stay in this profession? And I hear you, because it's my guess that you've tried to do so many things to create a change, but you're back in this cycle of burnout. And so my invitation to you is to download my free 25-minute video that can start to raise your levels of self-awareness and consciousness. In this video, I put to you some very powerful questions that get your mind starting to fire and wire in new sequences. So if you are an HR professional and what I have spoken about today really resonates with you, and you know that you are ready for change, but you just need some help getting you over the line, then this is the starting point. So download the link and I will look forward to seeing you on the other side.